What can you buy at Walt Disney World for under $20? This week on the podcast, Carrie and I are challenging each other. We've got $20 to spend, and what are we buying? Stay tuned to hear what we came up with. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hey, Carrie.
Howdy, pal.
Howdy. It feels weird saying howdy. For everyone listening, Carrie and I have been talking for like 2 hours. We sat down to record the podcast, and 2 hours later, I'm like, "Are we ready to record?" And it's just us babbling about normal stuff, family life, everyday stuff. Getting caught up because we haven't talked in a few days. And see what happens. A few days go by and we don't talk. We have all this stuff to talk about. Mm-hmm. Yes. So how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. We got some good feedback about our podcast that we recorded at Pop Century Resort.
Oh, did we?
We did. People liked us talking on location.
Oh, dear.
And it's so funny. When I was posting about flying home, people were messaging me going, "But Carrie just got there. Why are you leaving her?" But it was because you already had this trip planned to go on the Pin event. So I technically booked it last minute and we just happened to overlap.
Yes.
So
Conveniently,
if we're really being honest, when I was there, when we were talking to our friend Carol at Dayton Disneyana, and you two were telling me about your Pin event, you had some pretty good dining reservations, and I was like, I really want to go eat at Olivia's. So I wanted to make sure that I was there to eat with you at Old Key West and have that fried chicken, which is...
We did it twice.
It was so good we did it twice. So much for me trying to do different things on this trip. But whatever. It was fun. I'm glad we could be there together.
It was nice.
It was.
But now we're back.
Although people are sending me marshmallow things. So I was tagged on something on Twitter the other day by Marla about some marshmallows. Had I seen these kinds of marshmallows? I need to send you the picture, Carrie.
I love marshmallows.
Now it's all about Did you guys eat those marshmallows I left you?
No, I have the marshmallows that you sent me home with, and then I have the marshmallows that I bought, the stuffed puffs.
Oh, the stuffed puffs.
I still have some. I've sealed them all up so they stay fresh.
Oh, good.
Although I don't, yeah.
I think they are available on Amazon. So I might just order a bag just because they were good. They were really good.
Delicious.
Yeah.
How something so simple
could be so delicious.
Could taste so good.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. We did get another review. We're just rocking it with the reviews these days. Now watch, I've jinxed us. We're not going to get any more.
Go through a dry spell.
Yeah. So this one is from Amy Wiley Ames, I think, via Apple Podcasts. And it's titled Lighthearted Fun. And it says, Fran and Carrie are never too serious, always positive, and have lots of giggles. It's refreshing to listen to, and I love to learn more about Disney, pick up tips, and just listen to their stories. Sweet ladies.
That's awesome.
Aww, thank you. That was so nice. And I had someone else reach out to me on Instagram the other day who was getting caught up on some of our prior ones, like, the get to know us one that we did. And she was talking about, she worked in an ice cream shop too when she was younger, but her job lasted longer than mine, but not much longer. So
I find when we get the reviews and people say that they get tips from us, I really find that hard to believe. I really do find it hard to believe that we share information that helps them
is helpful
on their vacations.
Oh my God. Well, our friend Dustin messaged me the other night saying, I'm just listening to the podcast. I love your transportation tip. And I go, what was it? Take a lift? And he's like, yes. Well, especially from Disney Springs. If you're staying at Pop Century or one of the All-Stars, it's an absolute necessity. But yeah, it was a good tip.
So what are we talking about today? This was your idea?
Well, it was, it kind of morphed into this thing. Somebody said to me, what can you buy for $9.99? When we were talking about something else, and then it was like, oh, that's a fun idea for the podcast. What could you buy for $9.99? So I mentioned it to you, and like for us each to come up with a list of what we could buy for $9.99, and then we both realized there really isn't much you can buy for $9.99 that could fill a podcast. So
definitely,
we changed the price. So we were going to challenge each other. If you only had $19.99, so under $20 to spend, what things would you buy? But like each item can be under 19, right? So
yeah.
Right. So like what do you get for $20 at Walt Disney World that you would spend that money on?
Well, and this is where after you gave me the challenge to find my things,
yeah,
of course, I went the way that my brain always goes. So I do have my list of my 5 things. I might have 6 things just in case.
Yeah, I might.
But the part that I was and I didn't want to ask you because I figured we'll just talk about it and then everyone will laugh at me. But the part that I started to think about after you told me what we had to think of was like, do you mean like, is this like one day at Disney?
Qualifying
so like
again.
Is this just like I'm spending the day at Disney and what would be the 5 things I would buy for $19.99 or less? Or is this like for my whole trip? Like, am I only allowed to spend 5 times $19.99 on my whole trip? Like, well, that's where I was kind of like, because my list might be different if it's just one day or
if it's a whole trip.
Like, am I only, like, is that my budget for the whole trip and how would I spend it? But then I thought, well, that doesn't make sense because a girl's got to eat. So then exactly. I thought, is it just souvenirs then? Like, if it's for my whole trip, is it just my $19.99 or less souvenirs? So my brain was starting to churn and then I'm like, chill out, Care. Just go back and let's just find fun.
Like,
let's just find my 5 things, put them on my list. I've got them written down here. I'm moving my papers around so that you'll hear the noise on the podcast and you'll curse me when you're editing.
Yep. But I think, so I just thought it would be fun to think about, well, if you've got kids or teenagers or whatever, and you just say, I've got $20, what would I buy if I was in Walt Disney World today with $20? And it kind of gives people listening an idea of how far does your $20 go.
Gotcha.
Because quite honestly, when I first said the $9.99 and you're like, well, there's nothing you can buy for $9.99. And I'm thinking, of course there is. And then I went back and I looked up a few things that I had originally thought I was going to put in my list. And they weren't under $9.99. So, yeah. So I'm glad we changed it to 19.
Like, I don't even think you could buy 2 bottles of water. If you were at Disneyland, I don't think you can buy 2 bottles of water for $9.99 because the water costs more there.
Is the water more there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've pointed that out to me. When we're doing our pros and cons, you're like, but the water costs more.
Yeah, that's
true. I guess
true.
if you buy 12 bottles a day,
we got to figure out for Disneyland my water. We need to get some water delivered.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Leave it with me.
Just saying. I will say at Walt Disney World, you got to be really careful now with their water when you're buying it because they have certain locations only have smart water. They don't have Dasani. Which
that costs more too.
My sister would love it because she doesn't like Dasani. But the smart water is like $4.50. Dasani is $3.50. And if you buy it in a merchandise location, you get your DVC or annual pass discount on it. Mm. So you got to be careful because there was one day I was leaving and you know where you rent the strollers and the ECVs outside the Magic Kingdom? I thought I can't make it. I can't make it to the bus stop without a bottle of water. Like that's how hot it was. And I went to the store, and of course, they only had the smart water. And it wasn't considered a merchandise location, so I didn't even get my discount. So I paid like $5 for this smart water.
Yowzers.
Yeah, but believe me, I had it drank before I got to the bus stop. Anyway, yeah. Then, of course, I had to go to the bathroom halfway home.
Sermon over.
Yeah. Okay, so... $19.99. What kind of stuff would you buy? Like, how far would your $20 go?
Well, my first item on the list has to be $19.99 plus tax.
Okay. Plus tax.
Yes.
All right.
I think. I think they would charge tax on it. So do you want me to tell you my first one?
Yeah.
A resort refillable mug.
Oh, nice.
It costs $19.99 currently.
Oh, it does too. And you know what? Think of how much you get a lot of runway for that because you get refills.
Yes, you can have your coffee in the morning. You can fill it up with a soda in the afternoon. You can have a tea before bed. If you're at the resort a lot, I suppose. So yes, like that's a good $20 that lasts your whole trip.
Yeah. Oh, that's
even if you
one.
like, I guess it depends on how you do coffee. Like, because if you're up and out and you're on the run and you're not in your resort a lot, then whatever. But if you had even a coffee every morning, like they probably charge $3.50 for a coffee.
For a coffee. And then, yeah, you see people, they just throw them in their bag or they clip them to their stroller, or like if they're going to the parks.
Yep. And
they don't weigh anything. Like they weigh next to nothing.
And you bring,
so
and it's a souvenir too.
Yeah.
And it's a souvenir. You bring home your refillable mug, like.
I love the 50th refillable mugs.
Like there's
so
like
cute.
How many refillable mugs have you bought?
I can't even tell you.
I've even bought some at thrift stores because like I find one and maybe I don't have it and it's in mint condition. It's like they used it on their trip and then they just threw it to the thrift store when they got home, and I'm like, oh, that's mint. And I've bought them. I've even bought them recycled, like reused. Like that's how. Yeah. Plus the ones that I've bought. So it's a souvenir and you get your most bang for your buck. If you actually will use it if you're hanging out by the pool or any resort days, and it's a good,
because it's
not
one. Useful in the parks. It's only at your resort.
But it's also good, like when you have it and you leave for the day. Like say you fill it up in the morning and you're going to be gone for a while, and you do clip it on your bag or dry it out and put it in your knapsack or whatever. Like when you come home later, as long as you're not coming home really, 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 really late, which I've done that before. Like as long as everything's still open, you can fill it up before bed, right? Like if you want to have.
Especially
even with the water too,
pop.
right? Like yeah, for sure. But even if it's a vestibule for carrying some free water too, right? Like you can go fill it up with ice, and you can fill it up with water. Which is better
than those paper cups that you get at the quick service locations. Mm-hmm. So if you were at a quick service location, you got a couple, of the free ice waters, you can pour them in there. It's easier to drink from those than it is the paper cups.
And I think for you, as like more and more, like I don't know how it is at Walt Disney World, I noticed a few more of them, like often in the washroom locations. Like they have a lot of those filter machines now. Like you probably should
in the washroom. Like
when you go into the washroom area, like when we were at Epcot, when you go into the what's it called? The gate over by Beach Club and Boardwalk, that gate, the gateway.
Yeah.
When you go through the gateway, like when you're walking into that washroom, they have one of those filter things.
Yeah.
So, like, as more and more of them come about, you probably should start carrying around a canteen. Like, as long as it's...
I need to. Like, I have all those swell bottles that keep your drink super cold. It's just a matter of carrying it.
Like, honestly, what you pay for water in a year when you go to Walt Disney World, you probably could pay for some person's vacation.
No, because
like no joke, we could find somebody that's just desperate to go to Walt Disney World, and we could just bring them with us one time. You just start drinking water stop buying the water, and then we could you could add it all up and be like, and you could make a wish for somebody and bring them down. Maybe to Walt Disney World.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll bring it with me. I'll bring my swell bottle to Disneyland and see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think if
because if we have a fridge in our room and I get the bottles of water for our room and then I keep it really ice cold and I pour it in there, it should be good. And I can get 2 bottles of water in my swell.
That's not a bad idea, really. Like if you can keep the water cold. But anyways.
So here we go.
That's
Tangent.
bad. Let's go back. What about now?
Carrie, how do we do this? Okay. So
for a minute there, I think we forgot we were on a podcast. And I'm going to wave my paper again. Just to drive you crazy.
Here we go.
Just because you've had a couple easy edits the last couple episodes.
I have. The last couple episodes were easy. Now we're going to make it hard. Okay. So refillable mug. Excellent. I actually had on my list, similar but different. I actually had a mug, like a coffee or tea mug. You can usually get them in the parks for under $20. Like there's some good ones you can get for $16 or $17.99, and they're just like, who doesn't want to bring home a mug?
True.
Right? So the reason I thought about it is because I was using my It's a Small World mug the other day that I brought home this trip, and when I bought it, it was like $17.99. Because when I turn, sometimes those mugs are like $25, $26, but when I turned this one over and saw 17, I was like, whoo, gotta buy it. So you can get it, and then it's a souvenir to bring home. And
I think that would be interesting. That would be something very interesting to survey people. Like, I think that's a very, very, very popular souvenir.
Mugs, yeah.
Yeah, like how many people go to Disney and bring a mug home every trip?
It's, you know what? It's a perfect souvenir. It's a perfect gift for somebody. And like, if my Sunday morning posts are any, like on Facebook, if you go to my Facebook on a Sunday morning, I post like, what mug are you enjoying today? And everybody wants to share their mug because everybody's got different ones and they like to look at each other's and see, what other mugs are out there, what they want to buy next time they go on vacation. It's just, it brings back so many memories of your trip when you have a mug from, like, there's people that have mugs from 20 years ago, their trip, and they're like, oh, this is the one I got so-and-so, or my kids bought me in Animal Kingdom. And
it gives them so much joy.
Yeah.
It is a good souvenir.
See, it's a good souvenir.
It's a memory, it brings back memories where you bought it.
Yeah. It's a memory.
And really, everybody says, I need another mug, I need a whatever. But,
yeah.
But you still buy another mug.
I know, my cupboards are bursting at the seams. I will never have enough mouths in my house to drink out of all the mugs I have, but whatever. They're
Sometimes
fun.
I'll dig out a couple of them and switch them around, but yeah, use the same ones over and over and over and over again.
I do too. If it wasn't for my Sunday morning posts where I have to take a picture of a new mug, I'd probably use the same mug all the time. And that's the issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, refillable mug and mug.
Mug. That's good.
Look at how creative we are. Okay.
Wowzers.
Next one, Carrie.
Next one, surprise, surprise, surprise. I would say I'm going to buy a Disney pin.
Flippin' heck. Yeah?
Because you can buy one. So again, and I'm thinking can I only spend... Do I only have this budget? So I would buy
is this one pin you're gonna buy?
One pin. So because again, I could only spend $19.99, which often pins cost upwards of $19.99 or more now. So yes. I would pick a pin of maybe the resort that I'm staying at, or of a new experience. If
Guardians.
I'd get a Guardians of the Galaxy pin, or if I went on quite a few years ago when we went for the pin event, Carol Curtis and I went on the Africa Trek, the Wild Africa Trek. So then I bought the pin for that. So I would probably, if I had to stick to my little budget and my limit, then I would probably buy a pin that was like your mug would hold a memory. Like when we stayed at when we stayed at BLT.
Yes.
I might have bought.
I think you bought a.
I bought a pin because I hadn't, because I hadn't stayed there before. So yeah, a new resort that I stayed at, or an experience that was new. Like for example, say we got to see the Main Street Electrical Parade at Disneyland before it went away. I probably would have bought a pin.
You can buy the pin at Walt Disney World when it comes.
I'm not buying it. Yeah,
I'm feeling like it's got to come to Walt Disney World.
I think it's going to come, and because
where are our ears there?
Maybe not. I might still sacrifice them. I haven't. It's still to be determined.
So bitter.
But
you're so bitter.
the one thing that's funny with the internet, and I'm trying to think of the example of what was it that it was something else that came about for the Main Street Electrical Parade, and it says Disney's. It is technically right now Disneyland's, but they're making merch that just says Disney. Which again, the people online are like, woo, 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 like the sirens are going off because they're like, aha, we know it's going to Walt Disney World because you're making merch that says Disney.
They got to finish off the 50th with the Main Street Electrical
That's
Parade.
A big, Come on. There's not that much time left, and that's a big thing to haul across the country, though.
Yeah, but maybe they'll just leave it there. Maybe maybe they'll bring back Wishes. For the 50. Oh,
yeah, I think
amazing. I'd book a flight right now to go back and see Wishes. If they said one night only Wishes comes back, I'd book a flight. Oh my gosh. I love that fireworks.
Well, maybe if it goes to Walt Disney World, like I would think it probably would stay there for a while. So maybe it'll be I think a nighttime.
We can go and see it.
Yeah, but it's still not the same. Like it came back, it was celebrating, and we were short like 3 days.
I know, but
all we needed was 3 more nights. Not even 2.
We're gonna go see the new Haunted Mansion, like the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion. Like you're gonna get all the fun stuff at Disneyland. I know.
Anyways, so the pin of the experience.
So you'd buy a pin. See how funny we are? I have on my list not a pin, but a Zootopia mystery pin box.
Oh, good grief.
Because the mystery boxes are about $16.99.
Sort of, yeah.
Some of them, yeah. Yeah, my Zootopia box was less than $20. So, and you get 2 pins in it. And they're little ones, and they're the mystery box. So I would buy...
Gives you a little bit of excitement.
It's exciting. And you get 2 pins in there, so it's a good value. And then you could trade if you got doubles. Well, you wouldn't get doubles in the same box.
No, but if you bought 2 boxes, you could get the same.
I bought 2 boxes. And I didn't get the same pin. I didn't get doubles.
So there was quite a few mystery boxes that were new this trip, a few of them. So I bought, like, the Zootopia one I think is fairly new. And then they have one with pets in the fall leaves. And then they had Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. You got those ones, right?
Yeah, they look like a mirror, but they've got all the like each one has a Haunted Mansion character in it. And of my 2 boxes, one was like the $16.99 or whatever you paid for your Zootopia ones. The other ones, I'm pretty sure, were $24.99. That's a huge, like a $12 pin is still reasonable. I think, like because pins aren't cheap anymore, right? Like everything seems to be well over $10 or $12 or whatever for a pin. So, but it's the fact that there's such a big difference. And the ones with the like, I don't think they're pets. They're like animals in the leaves. Those were pretty big pins. And I think they might have been the cheaper ones. Whereas the little Haunted Mansion ones, I think those might have been the $24.99 ones.
Yeah.
All I know is I bought...
They were nice, but...
I think I bought 4 boxes, and when I saw how much the 4 boxes cost, I was like, holy smokes, who do I think I am buying these pins for all that money? With my discount, with my DVC discount, I was like, holy crap.
When you got the bill, when it rang up, I know, I was like,
whoa, that's the cost of 4 boxes of pins.
But what did you do with that? You instead of saying, oh, no, I only want 2, you took them all, and then we went and got a waffle, and you opened them.
Yeah. When I traded some of them, I actually was able to
trade. Have you traded some?
At the pin, well, I have to decide if I want to go down the rabbit hole of those Haunted Mansion ones, because I really like them. But I only have 2 or 3 I have 4 because I bought 2 boxes. So I was able to trade. I got a box that had the exact same both boxes. So I traded, I think, one of them. But anyways, for the pet ones at the event, I was able to trade to get all the ones I wanted. Because I wanted the cat, so that was easy. Because when they're new and you're around pin traders, like everybody wants the same thing. Everybody's trying to, like, if there's new boxes or new things, everybody wants them. So at an event like that, it's very, very likely that you're going to find somebody that's doing exactly the same thing as you, running out at lunch or on the way in or the day before the event. You've bought like 4 boxes and you're trying to get the whole set. So, you'll find people that it's easy to trade. So I knew at that point, like, I could probably invest in the couple of boxes and then be able to trade to get for what I want.
To get what you want.
Yeah, like, but the Haunted Mansion ones, if those are the ones that were $24.99 and there's like, I don't know, there's like 12 pins probably. I was like, I don't know that I want to.
It's pretty expensive to get the whole set.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can trade for them, I suppose, but then that's
but you still have to buy the same amount of, like, a valuable pin. Nobody's going to trade you a $24.99 pin for an $8 pin you got or something.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Anyways, back to
Carrie, we're recording the podcast. Okay, so pins. I said mystery box, you said pin. Next. Yep.
So the next thing on my list, this is the one.
If it's the same, like
this one I'm going to do a split because this is where I was really struggling with the reason for why I was making my list up.
Because it's gotta be so hard. Okay.
So maybe I'll just do the one. So I know the one might be exactly, like, one might be what you're gonna say.
Okay.
So I put a bounty platter.
Oh,
so starting my day, because again, I'm thinking, is this like just one day at Epcot? Is this how I would whatever? So I had a balloon down. I had a park balloon. I never buy balloons, a balloon? But I thought if I only had so much money and I was there for the week, I don't know, a balloon would give me joy the whole week. I would have it in my room.
Would you carry it around with you, or you just
maybe
leave it
I
in
would.
your room?
Maybe I would. Like, I don't know. I was thinking, that's under $20, and that's something that would provide enjoyment, or would be something that would last the week.
Wand? Yeah.
A balloon, no bubble wand. We can't buy a bubble wand for $19.99. I'm pretty sure they're
24
more than that.
or something. I think,
so my first thing was a balloon,
yeah,
and then I thought, buy them. And I was like, nah, maybe not the balloon. But then I thought, a bounty platter. So if I was starting my day off, a bounty platter costs like $12 or $13. Yes. And if I'm on a budget here, right, I'm trying to have a coffee with it. So I could, it's only one item, so I didn't put a coffee with it. But I can have my bounty platter to start my day. And then
for people listening, a bounty platter is basically a breakfast meal.
Yeah, so it's a breakfast in the quick service locations, and you get a Mickey waffle, you get eggs, you get bacon or sausage, hash browns. Like, it's a humongous platter.
Sometimes you even, depending on the resort, sometimes you even get like a little
a biscuit,
like a biscuit with it. Mm-hmm.
So it's a big breakfast.
It's a big breakfast.
So if I was on a budget and I could only spend so much of my day, then. Because if this was my budget for the day and I couldn't spend any more and I had to eat within it, then that's exactly what I would do. Because then,
isn't that funny?
What?
Well, because I did have food. I had one food item on mine, but it was a cupcake / Dole Whip. So I was gonna buy them together.
See, I was thinking that it was only one item. And then I was also thinking, like, I didn't want to put anything like that on my list because I was thinking more bang for my buck. Like, my brain is seriously thinking the best way to spend this $20. So I wouldn't, I kind of stepped over, like, because, I think, what would I buy? Like, I'd buy a Mickey Mouse pretzel. Like, I've eaten so many of them I don't even know. So that's what would be on my list. But I was like, no, that's not the best bang for my buck. I need to get up and have a big breakfast so that I could go and, get my big breakfast, have my resort refillable mug, buy my pin, and do whatever else I've got on my list here.
And pick up a balloon on the way out.
Well, no, the balloon was kind of like my first thing. But then I'm like, that's really not what I would do. But I thought, well, that would be something that, would be a souvenir through your week and whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, but anyway, so my bounty platter.
I was I was just like about the snack. Like, it would be a cupcake or a Dole Whip or a bottle of water. Like, but technically I could get like 3 or 4 bottles of water. But whatever, for my $19.99.
If you bought them at a merchandise location where you could get 20% off.
Where I get my discount. Yes. Okay. So what else you got?
Well, I'm going to say another snack, which is different, though, because you just said you wouldn't buy popcorn, but I would buy a popcorn bucket.
Oh.
So, again, not the $5.50 popcorn cup or whatever. I would buy the whatever the bucket is that they're selling. Bucket. No, and not the fancy ones. We don't have budget for, Mickey Mouse mummies or Mickey Mouse balloon pumpkin pop.
Yeah,
popcorn
they're more
baskets.
than $20.
That's more than $20. I'm talking about the popcorn bucket that's also refillable.
It's just a bucket.
Yeah, so I think they're like $13 or something like that, and so again, I'd have my big breakfast, and I might be able to get through the rest of the day with just that popcorn bucket.
Well, because you could refill it for, what is it, $2.99 or something?
Yeah, I think a couple of bucks.
It's a couple of bucks to refill. It's a good deal. If you like popcorn, those are a good deal. You could go in the morning, get a bucket of popcorn, carry it around, munch on it during the day. There's a lid, so when you take it on attractions and stuff. And then you can refill it when you're leaving to take back to the resort.
I've bought a popcorn bucket once in a while over the last couple of years. But, like, I've bought so many in the past, like, I had to say, like, no more popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
Because, like, then you bring them home and, like, you got to figure what to do with them. And
I know. Becky has so many, but she loves popcorn buckets. She just loves them.
Well, I think the ones that are designed, like, that are themed are...
The themed ones, kind of, she loves those, yeah.
I understand collecting those, but I'm just talking about the original ones. Like
the bucket.
The bucket buckets. Like, and they used to be tall and skinnier with, like, the lid and the hook on it. And I don't know how many of those I have. And Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you think, oh, I'll just put popcorn in them when you get home. But then when you make popcorn at home, the last thing you're thinking of is like grabbing a popcorn bucket to put your Disney popcorn bucket. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I have no more food on mine, believe it or not. So my other item, I couldn't decide. So I have two that could be a this or that, depending on the weather. One would be a cooling towel.
Oh.
Or an umbrella. So depending on the weather, actually, you could use both in the summer. But a cooling towel or an umbrella. Because
and since you were there recently, I think you do know the cost of an umbrella, don't you?
I do know the cost of an umbrella because I had to buy the umbrella. It was 1,000 degrees and there was no way I was putting on a poncho. Like, I would have just melted into the ground. So I decided I needed... And honestly, I would have just walked through the rain. Who cares about getting wet? Because at this point, my hair was as big as a house. It was really about, like, my phone and my camera and stuff getting wet that I didn't want to have happen. I should just carry Ziplocs for that. But anyway, I digress. So, yes, I think the umbrella was $16.99. And I can't even tell you how many of these I have at home. So I left that one in my owner's locker.
Good idea.
So next trip, I'll remember to take it out of the locker and put it in my backpack so that I carry it every day to the parks. Now, pro tip, when you're going through security, you must take the umbrella out of your bag and hold it directly out in front of you so that when you walk through security, the umbrella does not set off the detector or else you have to get your bag searched.
Yeah, the detectors don't like umbrellas and phone cases for some reason.
They don't like phone cases and
or not phone cases. Eyeglass cases. That's what I was trying to say.
And camera, like my Frodo thingy that I put my camera on, the stabilizer thing. Yeah, they don't like that either. And you know what the guy told me it was? It was having both my bags. So I had like one bag, like my fanny pack slung across one shoulder. Then I had my backpack on my back. And because they were both so close to my body, they can't read what's inside it. Right. And that's what was setting it off. Even when I was holding my umbrella out in front of me.
And I wonder, like, does everybody know that that's how they do stuff there now? Like, we probably talked about it on a podcast in the past. But so now when you go through security, you get scanned. But, like, not scanned like you walk through the scanner and then they're standing at a station like 6 feet away or so. Like at the outside, like, because it's usually a tent, they have, 6 or 10 feet away, the guy's standing there and he's looking at the picture of the scan. And then if they see something in your bag, then they tell you to go get it checked. But otherwise, if everything's tickety-boo and you're like, got your eyeglass case in one hand, your umbrella in the other, and you got your backpack on, if they see nothing wonky, then you don't have to, you just walk through. There's no more, every single person has to go...
Get their bag searched.
Yeah, like, go to the desk, have everything unzipped to make it quicker so that they can kind of look and feel and flashlight through your bag. Like, they don't do that at all anymore.
No.
And that's pretty cool.
Because there's no, like, and it goes so quickly. And even if you get picked to get, to go through your bags, it's so quick now, too. Because I kept triggering it for some reason. But yeah, then it's so quick. It's great. I love it now. I love it. So yes, I would say a cooling towel or an umbrella. Cooling towel is a necessity in the summer months.
Yeah.
1,000%.
It's hot.
Hot.
Cool.
Okay.
My last one? Is this my last one? Was that your last one?
I don't know how many I've done.
This is my last one.
4, 5. I've actually got 3 more. I've got 3 more that I came up with. Well, because I just wanted a variety. 5. Well, whatever. I couldn't decide. Okay, go on.
Okay. So my last one, because I stuck to the rules, although I did have like 5.5 because the balloon and the brownie platter were a half and half. I couldn't decide which one. So my last one is to buy the current Epcot Festival scavenger hunt.
Oh, fun.
Because it is something to do. It's an activity.
I think I've only ever done it with you.
It's an activity, and then you get a prize at the end. So it's an activity and a souvenir.
Yes. And the prize that you get at the end is usually...
It depends. Like, I think now it's like a refillable glass, like a plastic glass. But the one before, so when that would have been, I guess, for food and wine, right? Or was it for International Festival of the Arts? Probably.
I feel like it was Festival of the Arts.
Festival of the Arts. It was. It was a little like pretend Tupperware container, and you could pick which character you wanted on the front of it. Like, so I got an orange bird one. So you get to bring something home, and you get
likes these activities,
and it's an activity. So you know, it's a win-win.
It's kind of like getting the postcards at World Showcase too. You love doing that stuff.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I couldn't put that on the list because it's free.
It's free.
Usually I think it's around $10 ish.
Maybe we should do a podcast on what you can get for free.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Think of stuff that's free.
Okay, so that'll be in the future. We can't do it back to back because then that just sounds cheesy.
I'll be like that.
I don't even know what I'm going to call this podcast.
I was thinking about that too. I don't know. Surprise!
Whoever does the graphics for this is going to have a hard time thinking about
Surprise! I'll think of something all right.
Okay, so I have 3 more.
Okay, I'm all done. I'm putting my feet up.
Good for you. Good. I did. So this one,
Check
a pop socket.
See if I got any messages. Oh, wait, sorry.
A pop socket.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're under $20 and they're fun. You can bring them home, put them on your phone. Then you have a little bit of Disney with you every day. Right? I have an orange bird one right now, but I did buy a Figment one. I don't know where it is, but I got to find it. I know I bought a Figment one while I was there to put on my phone. So that. The other thing is the clip-on hand sanitizers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, because you know what bugs me is they don't have a lot of variety. Like they have Mickey, Minnie, Pluto. They have like the teacups. You
gonna sneeze?
Look at the light. They have Mickey, Minnie, Pluto. They have the teacups. They have Small World. And like, that's it. They don't have a lot of variety because I wanted a different one. But even at home, so they're great when you're there to clip onto your bag. So I use them all the time. And then when I'm at home, I have them clipped on my purse. And I have one in the car. So
yeah, so it's a neat souvenir. And
it's a neat souvenir and it's
nobody
useful.
would it would be, you know, like you would only be able to get it there.
Exactly. So it's useful. And when I'm at work, like everybody's always like, oh, I don't have any. I'm like, oh, here, I have. So yeah, it's kind of fun. And then my last one is kind of a fun one that we kind of talked about earlier, which is a lift home from Disney Springs. So quite honestly, I never paid more, and I took a lot of lifts while I was there. I never paid more than $12 for a lift around Disney property. I think if I took from the Contemporary, or Magic Kingdom Ticket and Transportation back to maybe Coronado, it might have been 16 or 17, but you can get a lift around property for less than $20 and it's well worth it.
That's a great one.
Yes. Like, honestly,
I wish I thought of that one for under $20.
Sometimes, it's just, you're just beat and you don't want to wait for a bus or a boat or a monorail or whatever. And you just, it's just, it makes it so. And you know what else that comes in handy? When you're in Epcot and you're in Germany and you're ready to leave or it's going to rain. I don't want to walk all the way to the front where the buses are. So I'll just sneak out World Showcase and get a lift at the beach club. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's probably easier in those situations.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, why would you catch if you're at the front of the park, it's one thing, but why would you catch a lift from anywhere but the Boardwalk or Beach Club if you were at Epcot?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at the front of the park, their lift pickup is actually pretty close. It's closer than most people's parking. That's for sure. And in fact, I would almost argue it's probably closer than most of the buses at Epcot. Yeah. Yeah. The only place where the lift drop-off is a nightmare is at Hollywood Studios. Because it couldn't be further away.
Well, because the Skyliner station's in the way now, right?
Exactly.
And then the buses are over to the side.
So take the Skyliner to Pop Century and get a lift from there. There's so many ways. Yeah. Depending on what kind of travel or how much time you have, the weather, all that kind of stuff. Yep. Worth it. Cool. I think that was fun, Carrie.
Yeah, it was good.
See, it was a good
Who knew we could do so many things for $19.99 or less?
You know, everybody talks about how expensive Disney is, and it absolutely is. But there are ways to do Disney that is not like remortgaging your house. There really is. And you do it based on, you spend your money on what's important to you. So water is important to me, so I buy bottles of water. Convenience, I buy a lift. But other people will go and, you know, a nice meal is like they will spend hundreds on a nice meal at Victoria and Albert's, but will get free water at the quick service location and take the bus everywhere, right? It just depends what's important to you, where you spend your money.
Yeah.
And some people would spend $25 on a box of pins. Mm-hmm. Because pins are important.
Yep.
Or $5.99 on some cheesecake. I was like craving that cheesecake the other day. Okay, so Carrie.
Yep.
Have you got some pixie dust this week?
Sure do.
Sure do, pal.
My pixie dust is getting to go back to Walt Disney World to the pin event with my friend Carol. So we had counted while we were there. I think I had been to 10 or 11 of them. So we had been, like, I think I have been to 11 of them maybe. But the first one I went and I went with my aunt and I bunked with my aunt. And then I think after that, every pin event I've ever been to, I went with her. So we've always like planned our trip together. She goes from her place, I go from my place. We get there, we bunk together, we do our trip and we do our regular things, right? Like we just do what we do. It's so hot. We like to, we've swam a lot in the past. We've ate a lot of ice cream in the past. We don't like taking the buses. We don't take the buses. We like to go to the pit. We like to go eat where we like to eat. We like to shop where we like to shop. We like to do the parks the way we like to do the parks. Because that's just how we do it all the time. So it was sort of like, it's been a couple years and we just kind of jumped back into our trip and we were kind of exactly the same way that we were all those other years doing what we were doing. I didn't get to go to Disney Springs and get Earls, which is usually what we do at least once. Yes.
That was the only thing that was missing, right?
That was the only thing that was missing. But we ate where we ate. We had our ice cream. We did, we went into the parks a little bit because we don't really want to deal with the heat. But, we just do what we do because that's what we do. And it was awesome. It had been a couple years and it was nice to have that back. And really, like, I find that's where, like, going to Walt Disney World, and seeing my pin friends, like, yes. I haven't seen them for 2 years. Like, they live close to me, and I don't, like, fairly close, way closer than Florida, and I've seen them in Florida, and I haven't seen them here, right? So, like, it really feels, like, normal. Like, and it feels normal going to Walt Disney World with you and traveling with you, like, because I travel with you, often or whatever. But, yeah, like, I find when I'm there and I see all the people that I always see, all the faces I've seen year after year after year after year, then it makes Walt Disney World feel, like, normal. Like, cause it's just what we always do, right? And we do see the same faces and the same people, and
it's such an important trip for you. And you and Carol are great travel companions. You have the same sort of you want to do the same things. You're happy doing the same things. You like. Yeah, the
pin event for us is what the pin event is for us, right? Like, it's not like if I went with somebody different and their priorities, like, our priorities are exactly the same.
Yes.
Whereas, Carol's priorities when she goes at a certain time of the year is different than the pin event. And same with me, right? Like, our priorities, we know exactly what we want to do, and that's what we do. And that's what makes it awesome, for sure. So,
yeah. And she's so wonderful. And you all, like I said, you always have great dining reservations. So I was quite happy to crash 2 of your dinners at the same place.
Yeah, we added you to all of them, but you didn't make it to all of them.
I didn't make it to all of them. But that, it was awesome. And she's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a really good trip. So and look forward to next year. What the heck is, I think
What's
next year the event theme might be magical or something, or magic or something. So, like,
isn't this the 100 years of magic or something?
Well,
for the 100th anniversary?
It's the 100th year of Disney, and I think the event, for some reason I'm going to think it is, I think it is magical or something like that, which we were kind of laughing because we're like, yeah, magic. So it kind of, like, that's pretty broad when we're talking about Disney.
What does that mean?
So, like, I think they said something like, you know, like just, I think it'll be a lot of theme park stuff. Like I wonder because of, you know, I don't know, like next year, I guess at that time the celebration will be over, but I think it's like how you find magic in your life or whatever, right? So I think it will be a lot of theme, like, or in theme at, you know, at Walt Disney World. So I think it will be a lot of theme park pins, which would be kind of neat because
that would be neat.
We haven't, you know, there probably hasn't been that type of event in a while. So I kind of think
I like theme park
it might be like that, but we don't know. Like they just gave us magic. That's it. Like,
that's it. You get
they
the
didn't give
magic.
They didn't show us any pins that are in the works or even one pin or anything. They just showed us the logo and it just says Disney Magic and the A is the sorcerer's hat.
I wonder if a bunch of it'll be like Fantasia
I don't know.
Fantasia based.
I don't know.
I want to say Fantasmic. Fantasia based. Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, it'll be. But whatever, yeah, like we probably wouldn't see the pins like as per usual, like, you know, we wouldn't see the pins or any idea about what's going on till like just a few months before the event, but we'll still sign up, book our flights, book our hotel, give them all of our money, and then they'll be like, oh, and here's the pins that you might be able to buy, and we'll be like, okay, thanks. Anyways, okay, so what's your pixie dust?
My pixie dust is that I have this friend who is on top of everything when it comes to the D23 Expo.
Oh, do tell.
So D23 Expo is coming up and all these panels. We have friends that are going, Jamie and Leslie, who sent me spreadsheets. Like, honestly, I was ready to cry. I'm thinking, I don't even know what I'm doing. What panel? Where do I want to go? What do I have to sign up for? I don't understand. I bought the ticket. I thought I'd just show up. So thankfully, Carrie has figured it all out. We had issues with our tickets. You couldn't log in. I couldn't log in. But you were on top of it. You figured it out. And you signed us up for everything that we think. Well, I don't even know. You signed us up. You sent me the email. I don't know what you're signing us up for. But I know you know whatever I want. I'm sure you put in for the Muppets.
I think we've all put in the Muppets, hopefully, so that I can at least get 2 spots to go.
Yes. Whatever happens, you are seeing the Muppets. We will beg, borrow, and steal for whoever.
Yeah, I'll just go to the standby line if we don't get it. So,
Carrie, at this point, I'll get up at 3:00 in the morning if I have to get you in to see the Muppets.
Oh,
I would do that.
But I don't think we need to do that. I don't know that there's going to be that many Muppet crazy people.
Yeah, that might have been me just like, you know.
Just saying it.
Just saying it.
It's at 1 o'clock, so we wouldn't have to wait at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, that's good to know.
So yeah, our account was all screwed up, so we had to email D23 like all week long because we were running out of time. And then they actually extended it. We were supposed to have all of our RSPs in by Friday at a certain time, and then they extended it till Sunday. Because so many accounts were messed up. So the way that it works is that we know all of the schedule. So we could go in and select things we'd like to go to. Just like the pin event, they're going to run a random selection process. And then for the ones that we get chosen in this raffle, we will have guaranteed entry to these things. So I looked through and I picked like the big ones. Like we want to go into the animation session. I put the Marvel session. I put the park session. For like
the Marvel session?
Well, because I figured it's Marvel, Universal, whatever. But this is the thing. Okay, let me explain how it works.
Maybe
we put all of that
something.
Stuff. No, but hear me out. So I put all of that stuff in. I put in, and then I looked on the days, and you have to kind of look to see what's happening, right? Like because you're gonna have stuff back to back if you just randomly pick things you're interested in. So I picked for all 3 days. I picked things I thought we would be interested in. You know, if we don't get this, then we'll do that or whatever. So I filled it all out and I submitted them for both of us. On the one day I kind of like, I didn't, for some things, some days I put you for 4 things and I might have put me for 4 different things or 2 of the same things. And then we each had 2 other things that were different just to give a little bit of, you know, just in case, right? Because it is random. So the
Increase our odds.
Because it is random selection, right? So the reason why I did the Marvel thing, like, I don't know that I'm going to, especially if we decide to go to the parks thing and we go to the animation one, like, I don't know that I want to spend a whole other couple of hours going to that one. But if, like, that's a very important priority for Jamie and Leslie. So if they don't get any and we do,
we can give it to them.
Then we can help them out. Yeah. So that's why I put, good. Like, so I put all of the parks and even like when I was there like last year, we made friends with people, and like if they didn't have it, then because last year it was it was the same thing, but they opened up a portal and we were all online at a certain time, clicking, trying to pick the things we wanted. And most of the times, by the time you click through, there was nothing available. So Jamie and I sat online, like clicking for like 45 minutes each once we got through the virtual queue. And then we really didn't get much at all. Like, we got a few things. So it's sort of the same way this year, except that it's random. Like, so we still had to go through and say what we wanted, but it's going to be random. So we still may only get selected. 1 or 2 things each, or maybe 1 thing a day. I don't know if we're going to get.
As long as you get the Muppets, that's all that matters.
We'll do it. I'm going in the standby line if I don't get the Muppets. I will wait.
But I'd like you to
long
just
in
get
advance.
It. I would like you to just get it. Know for sure you're going to be there. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I hope so. I want to go early enough so that I can be try to be up close too. Because last time I was like, when they had the Muppet thing a couple of years ago, like I think they had it in 2015.
When we were but even when we were at Destination D, same thing. You were kind of far back when Kermit came out.
Well, that was a bit of a surprise.
That was a surprise. Right? Yeah, but it would have been cool if you had been right up front.
Yeah, just so I could see it a little bit better. Because they'll have big, massive screens.
Should we bring
everywhere.
binoculars?
No, they have humongous screens in all of the rooms usually. So, but I wouldn't mind being just a little bit closer. So I'd like to wait early. But anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It all works out.
We'll find out. We'll let you know on the podcast when we know. But yeah, that was my pixie dust. That thankfully I have a friend who knows all this stuff and is able to sort it all out. And I just gave her my login and she just picked whatever.
Well, your friend leaned on the other girls that already did it too to ask them a lot of questions. And Jamie's Google spreadsheet did help because I did plan out a few things on her spreadsheet. With all
this stuff, right? Like I was so overwhelmed. Honestly, they're all messaging, going, "What about that?" And I was like, "What?" So I'm just gonna show up. You just tell me where to be.
That's all good. We got it. We gotcha.
We got it. And I'm looking forward to my first day at the Disneyland Hotel. So there's a few things that I absolutely want to do when we're there, and hopefully we'll record a podcast or 2 while we're there. We can do that. We should do it and record it right from the room. Yeah, exciting. We got a lot of stuff coming up, Carrie.
Yes, we do.
We do. Well, this was fun. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And again, we love the reviews, so keep them coming. And if you know anybody else, I could have said that our Pixie Dust was us winning that contest. Remember that contest we were on for the best podcast? And we got kicked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't Pixie Dust. But, it was fun. You can send our podcast to anybody that you think might enjoy it and just needs a good laugh and a good giggle with some friends once a week. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
See you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.